Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a gloomy, rainy day outside, so what better opportunity to stay inside and do some carbon fiber. So let's take a look at today's project.
All right guys, so this is my splitter. I've been running this for, I don't even know how long now. It's held up well. It's definitely done its job. I would say it's like a 7 out of 10 splitter. It's got a shape to it, it's flat, it's aluminite, I can stand on it. It aesthetically looks pretty good. It's got some end plates, you know, all in all, like for a pretty easy job, like, and cheap, like it's honestly held up great. Now we finished Mike's splitter and it came out good. I really wanted to do one as well, but unlike Mike, I believe in aerodynamics. Mike's more like Ferrari Enzo. He says, hey, you should just throw more power at it. He doesn't really believe in the black magic that he can't see of aerodynamics. And I wanted a slightly more complex splitter. I definitely wanted diffusers on both sides for the wheel wells. I wanted it to have, you know, an airfoil shape. A nice rounded leading edge really helps the air stay attached in the front. And so realistically, without a crazy complex mold or some CNC foamed core or something, doing this is kind of an uphill battle. Obviously professionals use one of the two methods I said before, but if you're like us, you just got some at-home methods, you want a vacuum bag, wet layup, we're gonna figure out if this works. Now, the reason I haven't been doing this is because I keep finding reasons that it won't work or I have to change my strategy up. Really, when you're doing carbon fiber, you want to think through it a million times because prep is everything when it comes to carbon fiber. I got all this crap over here. I've started making molds of end plates, wing end plates, diffusers, things like that I could put in. But really with this, I wanted to make, you know, a decent one-piece top, and then I can sand in my diffusers. So strategy, I think I've come up with it. We got this. This is 1-inch Pink Panther foam core. It's how I made all my flat floors. It works sweet. It holds up to epoxy. It's easily sandable, and it is dirt cheap. So there is no complaints with that. So what we're gonna do, we got carbon fiber, we got this. We're gonna lay up a sheet over it. Well, we're gonna lay up a few center pieces, but we're gonna lay up over, it's gonna just kind of come up over these rough shapes that I have for where I want the tunnels to go, because basically this is the height. Once we get the top of this done, we're gonna take it, flip it over, and then we'll sand in the diffuser tunnels from underneath. So basically from the back of this tunnel, what it'll look like is, see, this is just like I stacked foam and then just sanded my shape. I'm basically gonna do that. This will be a hard, rigid carbon edge, and then I can sand in the, I guess I would say the gradient or the slope that I want of these tunnels. I don't have to worry about it hitting anything because obviously all of this clears, so I can take the back to as thin as I want, and there'll just be a thin piece of foam to go up for these. The rest of this I'll leave as the 1-inch foam core. Yeah, I'll leave this, I'll probably have an abrupt ending here. I'll keep this thick out here so that I'll have a nice place to put my end plates to. But if I hang this over the edge, you'll be able to see that there is a profile to this. So I've already pre-sanded a little bit just to kind of get the idea. This will help me lay up the carbon right up to this edge and a little bit over it. When we vacuum bag it, it'll flow over. Then when we flip it and vacuum bag the other way, I'll create a nice seam that I'll be able to cut. That should make everything really easy. Is this gonna work? I have no idea. Fingers crossed. When I did my flat floor, I basically did the same thing, except that was just, you know, a flat board. So super easy. You just put 2 things of carbon fiber on each side, boom, you're done. This, with the diffuser tunnels, it's gonna have some shape to it. So we're gonna see how this works. This is backyard carbon fiber. Again, if you are a professional or buying from a professional like AJ Hartman or Varus or one of those companies, right, they'll probably invest the time to make a mold, CNC foam core, something like that. I am going to CAD this and see how much a CNC foam core would be with all the diffuser tunnels and mounting holes and everything already done. My guess is it'd probably still end up being almost $1,000, where for this, I'm probably all said and done going to be maybe $500, $600 of material into this. So this is why we're keeping it DIY friendly, and something I don't believe in spending $6,000 on a splitter just so you can go off track once and just eat it in half. And then you got to send it back out and they got to fix it and repair it and charge you more. Those carbon guys are staying in business. Beautiful pieces. I get what they're doing. I get why people pay for it. It's engineered really well. I am just too cheap to spend $6,000, $4,000 to $6,000 on a splitter setup. It's too crazy for me. So at home engineering, let's get into it. Actually, I figure before we even get into my at-home carbon fiber, I should show you guys, these are Mike's carbon doors. So I think these weighed like 9 pounds each. Mike's doors weigh like 70 something, right around there. So stay tuned. We're gonna be throwing these doors on Mike's car pretty soon. I have a pallet of doors coming from the UK from Matty Evans for E46 and E82. So look forward to those as well. Also, I guess under here, wow, we got a lot. Let me set up the tripod really quick. Big wangs for sale, big wangs for sale. All right, also, so the other day we got 2 AJ Hartman wings in for, this is gonna be for the E82, E92 custom setup that I have. So elements are in stock now. I got 2 elements, I got 2 custom uprights. So I know people have been asking, so my wing setup will be available. Yeah, plug and play, baby. I'm kidding, you gotta trim the trunk a little bit. Yeah, I mean, people ask, they're like, that's a little egregious, but I mean, this is the best lift to drag ratio. This is the best downforce you can possibly get on an E92 or 135i without going crazy one-off custom wings, which basically you're in the same boat. And nothing that's this good or this capable, if you will go to the dual element style for this, which this one is upgradable to a dual element style, you just can't mount to a trunk anyway. It'll collapse the trunk. So custom wings, they're in stock. They'll be for sale soon. Get them while supplies last. All right, now let's push away the pros. Look at these, pro doors, pro wings, Chris's hack job. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with my nice workbench on the floor here. I got all my materials. This is my vacuum bag. It's like a stretchy bag. I really like it because it doesn't have to be perfect. We have the double-sided tape for the bag. We got peel ply. We got some breather cloth. We got different carbon fibers, beauty layer, some filler stuff that's just not as pretty, but it's more durable. I think that's actually more green stuff, so we got that. I also have some woven fiberglass mats that will probably fill in as well. Again, at-home carbon fiber, pro awesome, weight optimized. No, is this probably gonna be 2 pounds heavier, 3 pounds heavier than it has to be? Yeah, probably, but guess what? Still gonna be sick. So let's shape. Now let's cut some fabrics to shape. Get started. Honestly, I wasn't gonna do the brakes first just because I'm sure
they're hot.
They're 1,000,000 degrees from your drive over.
Yeah, probably because of my fucking alignment.
Dude, I gotta put this on the bottom of the camera.
Well, no, if I get my tires hotter from the fucked up alignment, it'll fucking heat up my wheels and heat up my brakes.
No, you got Carmick Ceramics. You paid for all those upgrades.
Paid for them.
Paid for them.
I financed them.
I can't wait to make the brackets to put the 380s on, though.
We gotta figure out a rotor.
I know, the rotors are all, that's the hard part.
Hella shit to Girodisc and shit in this video.
Yeah, just start trashing them. Yeah. Well, Girodisc was just like, it ain't gonna fucking work, but
really?
There's another one that was like, they'll make it work, so we'll make it happen. And rear tow arms, because Mitch drives a race car now. How's the selling the 1 Series stuff going?
pretty good if I actually put some time towards it.
Do you still have a lot of shit left over?
Yeah. I've just been not really doing my part on the side of it, and trying to solidify deals.
Yeah.
I have a
Hustling.
bunch of people that are probably mad at me because I just feel like I never have time to ever fucking sell parts.
Well, Tanner came over with his, and I was like, Tanner, you just gotta buy a F80. I was like, learn from Mitch and I. These are just way better. It's just like, it's just better.
It is.
But
if I were to go back, I don't know, I don't know whether to suggest someone gets a cheap one and just throws a bunch of money at it, or they get what they want, because I feel like
a cheap one of these, or a cheap.
I feel like in the long run, you're always gonna want like a better color, whatever. You might get like a cheaper color or whatever. Like that was one of the decisions I went through.
Yeah.
Do I get Yas? Do I get a cheaper color? Do I get black?
Yeah, I mean, Yas was what I wanted, and I did settle for the gray, but I do love the gray, but it had pure turbos on it, so I was like, I can't pass it up. But honestly, like, most of the F80, F82 specs are they're pretty good.
Yeah.
You get a lot for your money nowadays.
Just dodging all the dog cars.
Yeah, there's a
All
lot
the
of
cars that were pushing 700-800 wheel, and then they took the parts off.
Yeah, I don't want any of those cars. I want luckily though they made so many that like you can still get like a fully stock car that like someone's dad drove and was just like, and now you get a race car.
And then you take it on the dirt road every day.
Yeah, we're gonna trash Mitch when we get back up, but it's dark under here. No one can see anything. It's dusty, dude. That makes me scared to put mine up because I live on a dirt road.
There you go.
I'm kind of nervous now.
Oh, no.
I got the DCT pan. You want a DCT pan?
I do, eventually. I'm just scared to have Kyle in there. Kyle's gonna fuck some shit up. I want the big boy, I think.
You want the big one?
it
Well,
sit
you
down too low?
do track your car more. No, you have to trim part of the aero shield just to make it
that's no
clear.
big deal.
But you do.
Well, you want more. I guess in the
track
tunnel
more.
or out of the tunnel, no matter what it's getting air.
Yeah, it gets better airflow. I'm getting this nice gold stock boy because daily driver life. Yeah, it's a crank hub. We'll be doing that for you.
Should've got a Supra.
I should have bought a B58 car. What am I doing? All right, let's throw some toe tie. I almost said ties. You already did the ties. We gotta do the toes and ties. Let's get to it. Yeah, but bolts are like $4. They should just.
Cheap, but it's nice to have them like.
Oh, I totally agree.
No,
That's why I'm saying they should have them. So, big race car boy now with the Turner fronts. Dial that alignment in. All right, everyone, give Mitch some shit. Look at this thing.
Disgusting. I want to fucking puke. Sorry, YouTube.
All right, so toes are actually super easy on these. It's just one threaded bolt and then 118 here.
Nothing really in the way.
No, but we were just saying how awesome SPL is, right? Because they included all new hardware.
Oh yeah, great people. Just send arms.
Buy fucking expensive arms. Come on, just give me some hardware. But all right, let's throw these in. This is like a 5-minute mod. It's really the only alignment. It's the shitty part. Actually, some people I do know plenty of people that just put both bolts in both ends and they just make it the same length as OEM and then don't do alignments. And they think they're cool and no, you should get an alignment.
There's marginal difference that you're putting.
Oh yeah, and toe is so sensitive on these cars that like a 16th of a turn of that is like a 1/4 inch.
Especially with the meaty boys.
Yeah.
And 200 tread wears.
How are your discs looking?
Kind of rough in the front. My backs aren't too weird.
Oh, I get
Aren't too bad, but you see
No,
how this
yeah.
is kind of like, it's not really flaking deep.
No, yeah.
It's kind of at the same level of the
Yeah.
disc, and then you come to the front. I don't know if
We'll have to pull them off and weigh them one day.
But you see the front, how it's like got some extra, like,
Yeah, you get a little bit more.
see the
yeah.
depth in that.
Not bad though. They still got good life based on those.
Yeah, not bad, but I
We
know
should
the
weigh
fronts are
them.
Cooking.
Wow, yeah, you're track driving. I felt how you brake.
Yes. Too much gas, too much brake.
Too much gas. You can't have too much gas. There's no such thing as too much gas. I wonder if I could just set this on the wing. time
Gas
lapses.
when it's slightly big. Alright, let's ensure it under here.
Start it up.
You could be a YouTube superstar. The SPL logos.
Oh, I gotta twist this fucker. I got mad toning, so.
Boom. Toe gang. Eyeball it. See how close you think you can get.
That's what I'm doing. I think I'm pretty much right there.
I'm gonna guess I was not very close on my initial guess.
I'm gonna need to go out a little bit.
We'll see how far off we are. All right, time for tires, and we'll get this thing aligned.
I think I got the logo on the point.
SPL would be so proud.
I should go get my other arms at home.
Should send him a bill is what you should do.
I should send them my old ones back and act like they're these ones and get my money back.
Hey, I don't really understand. You sent me some 135i toe
Probably the
links.
same thing.
Oh, they probably are. They're all the same. They're just cut to different lengths. Yeah. You got me thinking about how rusty my car is now, Mitch. You're gonna ruin my afternoon. This is Mitch's first time driving. Stop. That one I meant. Yeah, my diffuser would not be nice on the front of the car. There you go. All right, let's see if this thing drives in a straight line, Mitch. You don't think so? Well, it's those Canadian wildfires. It's a Canadian wildfire.
Washing his car, it looks like smoke.
It is smoke. All right, she's vacuum bagged and good to go. Camera died doing this part, but it's pretty hectic anyway, so. But for now, we just let it bake for a little while. And probably come back in like 4 hours. We'll peel this off and get started on the other side. But so far, everything's looking good.
All right, so the last clip you guys saw was it was bagged and under vacuum. It was sitting outside to cure. Unfortunately, the vacuum was too strong and ended up deforming the foam a little bit. So I had to break it a little bit early, which kind of sucks, but most of it was cured anyway. So the part's not like ruined. It's not 100%, but it's definitely something I could fix. And then I started working on the back side and I realized I ran out of peel ply. So that's gonna be here today. So this is kind of taking longer than it should, but let's take a look at where we're at so far.
All right, let's flip this over. So, what had happened, let's get this someplace. See it? So, the front edge was an airfoil shape. I probably should not have sanded that before doing the top side. So this foam here was kind of pulling down a little bit. So I broke the vacuum, and when it released, because it wasn't cured yet, it did pull back up a little bit. So now it's flat like it should be, but because I had to break it a few times to get it to work, you can see some epoxy didn't get into some areas. There's a little bit, so it's all cured obviously and hard. It just doesn't really look nice. So I gotta fill in a few spots, but I mean, other than that, took shape. It's doing what I want it to do. So on the back side, what we've done is we've sanded in the tunnels. So it has the airfoil shape in the beginning with a nice leading edge. It's nice and round, should grab the air well. And then we do have the integrated tunnels. So yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good. This is functional, not aesthetic, but I ran out of peel ply and Amazon screwed me with the sticky tape. I bought like 4 rolls of these and basically they were all smushed in shipping, so it was all stuck together. I had to return that, so I've got some more now, so we will be able to keep going. But yeah, halfway done. It's obviously pretty flimsy right now because it's only halfway done. So in the meantime, while we wait for Amazon, I have the Pro Awesome mounts. These are gonna mount like right here and then up to my chassis rails. All right, it's the next morning and I pulled the bag off already, but it's time to unwrap this thing fully.
King.
All right, so now that it's done, obviously this table immediately turned back into a workbench. Mike's fixing his knock sensors, but my splitter is done. Is it visually the most awesome thing in the world? No, but the outside 2 inches that you'll see does look pretty sweet. Came out pretty good. There's a few imperfections, but guess what? I don't care. $500, and if I go off track, who gives a crap? So, lift it with one hand, and better yet, I can stand on it. So, let's throw it on the car and see what it looks like with a bumper on. So, you can see we cut out for the tunnels. Those will go right up into the wheel wells. Using the Pro Awesome mounts, and then I have some cables in the middle, and then I'll put some cables on the outside. Or I have the Pro Awesome carbon rods on the outside actually, so we'll probably use those. But it's looking good. Now let's toss the bumper. Alright, so now that the splitter's on and done, it's pretty robust. Give it the old stand on it test. It's basically everything that makes a great splitter. I think I'm gonna have to probably tape these two together. The flimsy plastic, the old splitter was pressed up against it a little bit more, so it kind of held it in place. This one dropped a little bit lower, so I might have to just maybe even heat it up. It might take some shape back. It's probably also been sitting on some crap in the shop, but yeah, I mean, other than that, it's pretty fantastic. So I'm very happy with how it came out. Not perfect, but it's gonna be exactly what I need it to do. It's cheap, it's strong, looks pretty good. And if I do go off and ruin it, I'm not $3,000 in the hole, I'm like 500 bucks in the hole, so really can't ask for much more.
All right, well, we're gonna wrap up the splitter video there. I gotta get back inside because we have a A90 Supra in for dual caliper brackets. So we're really excited to introduce that product. It's super sweet, and you guys will have to check out that video next time. But stay tuned, like, subscribe, we appreciate it, and see you in the Supra.